Thanks for watching ERI-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to this special edition of Open Mic with my guest for this evening, His Excellency, the Ambassador of Italy to the State of Eritrea, Mr. Marco Mancini.
Good evening.
We are here at the premises of the Italian Embassy here in Asmara, where this special interview is taking because His Excellency, the Ambassador, is completing his working tour to the country, and as we wish him all the best to his future endeavor, let us start with my first line of question. Again, welcome, Mr. Ambassador.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to thank you in particular the Ministry of Communication and ERI-TV and the newspapers here in Eritrea for this opportunity they offer me to say a few words before I leave this country.
Dear viewers, this interview will also be published on the Eritrea profile. Just a quick reminder. Mr. Ambassador, to get back to our line of questioning, how would you assess the overall state of bilateral relations between Italy and Eritrea during your tenure here, and what specific steps have you taken to strengthen these ties, particularly in the areas of trade, investment, and cultural exchange?
Well, you know, I spent here 4 years and 3 months, so quite a long time. When me and my wife arrived here in Asmara, COVID was spreading all over the world, so it was a very bad period. And then after a while, war in Ethiopia started again, and so it was really a very challenging period for us to start, for me to start my mission here. Then after COVID disappeared in 2022, I really started my job here, starting also, I mean, already met the member of the government and institutions and the Confederation of National Workers, all these people, but the real job started only after COVID disappeared, here as well as in the rest of the world. The first step taken with the full collaboration of the government was the reopening of Casa degli Italiani, which has been for many decades the socio-cultural center of Asmarinians and Italians here in this capital. This started, I mean, we started a very intense period of cultural events, cinemas and arts exhibition, conferences. So it became again a vital center for the good cultural cooperation between Italy and Eritrea. In terms of trade and investment, we had intense conversation with the competent authorities here in Asmara, with members of the government. And I remember the very long interview given by His Excellency the President at the beginning of last year, saying that now Eritrea finally is, I mean, has stability and peace, long-standing peace, and these are the two elements, fundamental elements, to focus the attention of the government, of the people of Eritrea, on developing economically, socially, even politically. So this was inspiring for me to insist on that. And it was, I mean, we had very good contacts. There are some important reforms coming up here in Eritrea regarding the developing of the infrastructure, the developing of all the possibility. This country has a big potential in terms of economic, industrial, and raw materials possibilities. It needs to, for us, for a Western investor, to have a very precise legal framework to attract foreign investment. And this is the next step, I think. I know also that the Ministry of Justice is taking a long analysis of the situation to also put in this reform the legal the rules to start and giving the foreign investors the possibility to come here with knowing that there will be a safeguard, a protection for them to come here. And this is the next step. So I am very confident. So on trade, there are also the trade between Italy and Eritrea has been there for many, many years, but can be improved. The industrial and economic development must start in a very good manner. We are not thinking about enormous projects, but step by step in different fields, in the industrialization and economic field, and also culturally with Casa degli Italiani. This is something that belongs to the story of our two countries. We have always been in very good cultural terms.
Mr. Ambassador, President Isias Afwerki's visit in January of 2024 to Italy marked a significant milestone. How did this visit contribute to deepening bilateral relations, and what specific agreements or understandings were reached?
His Excellency Afwerki visit to Italy marked a milestone in our bilateral relation. As you know, he participated to this Italy-Africa summit in January 2024, but not only that, he stayed in Italy, in our country, for more than 10 days, which is something that nobody believed, even in Italy. It was really something exceptional, I can say exceptional. Not only because we had the possibility to meet with our Prime Minister and with other Ministers of Government, but he went also around some regions in Italy and looking at our companies in production, and this is typical of His Excellency because he wants to see and hear personally, and this is something that not all leaders they have. So he came back with very good ideas, and for us, in that occasion, Italy launched the so-called Piano Mattei for Africa, which is a new platform of collaboration with all the African continent on a level playing field and on listening more to both sides. So no more Western countries coming here and saying we do this, we do that. But what an African country, in our case Eritrea, needs, wants, and then we collaborate together from the beginning on specific projects. This is the new philosophy of the Piano Mattei, which was embraced, I think, in very good terms by the President Afwerki. Now we are working on that. The Africa-Italy Summit and the Piano Mattei is evolving, and we have many projects on the pipeline.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador, what opportunities do you see to further economic cooperation between the two countries, especially in the sectors like agriculture, renewable energy, and tourism? Are there any specific initiatives or projects that you believe could be prioritized?
Yes. I want to underline that after His Excellency President's visit to Italy, the first operative mission here was the mission of our Minister for Enterprises and Made in Italy, Adolfo Urso. He came here with high-level responsibles of big Italian groups in the port, naval field, in the railway field, in the agri-technology field, and in the health field. So this is something that took place, and the President himself received our minister. They talk quite a lot, and they visited some good, potential projects. And Minister Urso went back to Italy with good ideas. Just at the same days, we had also the visit of our presidency of the Senate for Foreign Affairs and Defense, headed by Senator Craxi, Stefania Craxi. They also have been met by the president, and we talk about, 360 degrees scenario in the bilateral relations. So, in my opinion, these were two important visits. Of course, from my point of view, from the point of view of this embassy, we should have had more visits from Italy. But the international scenario is in a very big turmoil, and this is why, for instance, our Minister of Defense, who was scheduled to come here, was completely blocked by international events, starting from Palestine to Ukraine and now Syria. So he had really the desire to come, but so far he didn't make it. I'm very confident that in the next year those visits will come with more opportunities to come and to be developed.
How does Italy view Eritrea's role in promoting regional peace and stability in the Horn of Africa? How has Italy supported these efforts?
When we leave, ambassadors, we leave a country after 2, 3, 4 years, we are supposed to send a letter to the attention of our Minister of Foreign Affairs, a letter of end of mission. And I just wrote this letter and sent it to my minister. The focal point of the letter is that you have to consider that Eritrea in the Horn of Africa is, for the time being, the only stable country. It has stability, it doesn't want any more war, on the border it is safe. So, from a political point of view, this is the most important thing. And I can say also from an economic point of view, whom an investor is going to a country where there is turmoil, instability, conflicts, terrorism, all this stuff. So this is a stable country, and it can play, and it is playing, a vital role for the stabilization of all the region of the Horn of Africa. If you see what's going on in Ethiopia, if you see what's going on in Sudan, Sudan, in Somalia, even in Kenya. So this is the Horn of Africa, and you consider this country and his leader, he has been in power for more than 30 years after the struggle. So he knows very well the situation, and he is a leader very much listened by the others, presidents or prime minister of the neighboring country. And Italy must consider this. So Eritrea has a fundamental role for the stability of the Horn of Africa. And I agree with the President's consideration that the stability must come within these countries. External actions are not good. They always bring turmoil and sometimes also war. Look what's going on in Sudan, for instance. So I believe that Eritrea also plays a geostrategic role with more than 1,200 kilometers of coast on the Red Sea. And look what's going on the Red Sea, with this Houthi and this thing. So the natural instinct for a diplomat is to say, you have to cope with Eritrea. You have to talk. And of course, there are other aspects that can be improved, but from a very specific, pragmatic, diplomatic point of view, Eritrea must be considered more by the Western world, and Italy can play a role.
Mr. Ambassador, how has Italy worked with Eritrea in international forums, particularly within the European Union and the United Nations? What shared objectives and priorities have the two countries pursued?
So I remember 2 years ago, there was a long discussion within the European Union among member states regarding the importance of sanctions, to sanction other countries, even Eritrea. And I remember that Italy was among the few countries, member countries, which raised their hands and say sanctions are counterproductive and completely useless. So it's not a tool that should be used in international relations, especially with, regarding a country like Eritrea. Unfortunately, then after a while, some sanctions were lifted. The US sanction also, some of them have been lifted, but still this is for us, is a very useless tool for diplomacy. You can go back to sanction only in extreme cases. And in any case, I always said in my reports, Eritrea is sanctioned for what? For allegation that has not been proved, and because the international community recognized that some part of the Eritrean border between Eritrea and Ethiopia is for Eritrea, not for Ethiopia. So it's normal. Of course, Italy has a special interest in dealing and collaborating with Eritrea, while other member countries, maybe they don't have all this interest. But it's, in my opinion, it's myopia not to see the potential of this country, not only in terms of stability, political internal stability, but also in terms of raw materials. You have plenty of potential, also in the oil sector, in the energy sector, solar, all this stuff. So why don't we come here? Of course, this is a path that must be taken by both sides. Again, I say, an Italian investor, and there are Italian investors interested, won't come here until there will be a legal framework to be sure that he can work here with the safeguard of the government. This is the next step. This is very important. Yeah.
Okay.
In the international arena, of course, we supported Eritrea in many aspects, not only now, but mostly in the past, because of this special relationship.
Mr. Ambassador, on a personal note now, what personal experiences have you had with Eritrean culture and people during your time here? How has the experiences enriched your understanding of Eritrea and its people?
This is the most important question for me. This is considered by the diplomatic system a hardship posting. This means that you can, after 2 years, you can ask to go somewhere else or to go back to Italy. When we first arrived, I was a little bit concerned about the position of my wife, because I have my work, but what about her? I don't know. Then love exploded. I want to use this word, love, because we felt in love with Eritrean people, with the people of Asmara, and of course when we were going around the country. Why? Because it is a simple life. Of course, it's not, a life without difficulties regarding your logistic and, energy, all this stuff. But what really hit us, me and my wife, is the smile on the people and the very light heart they have considering what's going on in their lives. This is very important. Now we are going back to Rome, to Italy, and paradoxically we are a little bit concerned because we have to go back to some habits and some things that stress you very much. It is a life always in a hurry. You have to concentrate on your phone or this and that. Here, what the best gift we receive from Eritrea is the relaxing time and the possibility to, when we are working, the people, they say hello to you, they look into your eyes, and we shake hands, and some of them also they speak Italian, and this is the best thing to do. Now we have to go back to the so-called Western civilized world, and we will miss this very much. With some of the Eritrean guys and people we met, we hope to have them as a very much appreciated guests in Rome, maybe when they come. There is a big community in Rome, in Milan, in Bologna of Eritrean diaspora, and maybe we come back as tourists, because this is not only for the people, but for the landscape, the good weather, the lack of big diseases. You have a beautiful sea, you have a beautiful mountain. I mean, this is a very special country, and our sentiment towards Eritrean people, their culture, their tradition, which are in many senses mixed with the Italian one, conquered our heart. So we are living really with sadness.
Mr. Ambassador, as you conclude your tenure, what are your hopes for the future of Eritrea-Italy relations? What advice would you give to your successor to further strengthen these ties?
I am very optimistic on the bilateral relation. I was really lucky to meet with the member of this government who understand the message I was trying to send. They receive it, they took it as their own message. So sometimes, you know, you have to put the seeds in the earth, and the fruit will come up when you leave. But this is very important. In my opinion, 2025 will be a pivotal year for the bilateral relation. Moreover, the future is in the hand of my successor for the time being, Mr. Paolo Zampella, our deputy. He has been here now 2 years, so he's a very brilliant young diplomat. I also have to say that I was very lucky to have him and his wife as a fantastic couple here. And I think he shared with me the same sentiment of really big friendship and big will to work close with the Eritrean government and with the Eritrean people. So my feeling now is that the next year will be a turning point, very important in our bilateral relation. Okay,
Mr. Paolo, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you very much. First, for your interest in Italian-Eritrean bilateral relations and in the activity of our embassy. What I can say is that I'm very thankful to Ambassador Marco Mancini for his teachings also, because being this my first post abroad, the major lesson I've learned from him is the approach towards the country that is hosting you, towards the government, towards its people, and also, of course, the Italian community. He taught me to listen to everyone, to give the chance to everyone, and this is probably the way he managed to create this special relationship with Eritrea and the Eritrean people, also at personal level. So what I can say is that me personally, together with all our staff, and of course the next ambassador who will be coming soon, we will make sure to continue the excellent job Ambassador Marco Mancini made in this country, in Eritrea.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador, if you have any final messages you'd like to tell the people of Eritrea and the government before we close this program for this evening, now's your chance.
Again, my most sincere message is thank you very much. You gave me more than 4 years of very intense and precious experience. Me and my wife, we leave Eritrea with a heavy heart, and I only want to say we hope to come back as a tourist to meet all the friends we had here, and yekenele to Eritrea and his people. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ambassador, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right, dear viewers, that wraps up this week's Open Mic. It is good night from us.